Today we're going to be addressing the common susceptibility to a form of social engineering known as a phishing attack. Sort of like fishing with a rod and bait, except with a P and an H instead of an F. Surprisingly, this is one of the most common attacks, and most of you would have probably already come into contact with, though you probably wouldn't have known about it. Phishing attacks are essentially when the attacker tries to, or manages to obtain information about you, such as your IP address, username, and password, to your social media, or to much more sensitive and serious places such as your banking page. The method we're focusing on in the following demonstration is link impersonation. There are four major types of phishing. There's whaling, spear phishing, and email phishing. Spear phishing is when the attackers are focusing on a very small group of people or a specific person within the attack. Email phishing is phishing through the use of mass emails, which is the most common form, and phishing is phishing through the usage of voicemails or a phone. Lastly, whaling is aimed at very important or highly regarded people, typically aiming at getting money or information transferred back to the attacker. We will cover the method that is the most common, with a hacker generating a link using a tool we will obviously not mention, and mass emailing that to incredible amounts of people, as well as the information they will receive.
Now it's time to show you a phishing link in practice. Remember, this is strictly for educational purposes, and any attempt to recreate this without permission from the target will lead to serious legal repercussions. So don't try this at home. Now I'm going to create a phishing link for demonstrative purposes. Many people make the misconception that just clicking on a link can't do you any harm, but that could not be further from the truth. To show you this, I'm going to click on this very link right here with a VPN, just so that I can avoid exposing my personal information, which you can do too to avoid exposing your personal information, but we'll be covering that in the solutions section of the video. Now, I'm going to visit the link. Now, as you can see, this link looks just like a Google sign-up page, and unless you've been studying the Google sign-up page, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference. So, let's check out what's going on behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, as you can see, we've managed to obtain the victim's IP address. Whoever clicked on this link, I have their IP address now, which it's very scary. I also have the device they're using and the browser they're using. Let's proceed further. Let me just enter some dummy email and some random password. I'll click sign in, and nothing's happening since it's a wrong link. Or wrong credentials, and as you can see behind the scenes, I've got the account name and the password, and I can then go in and hack into your account. So that's how dangerous these kind of links are. I hope you've now realized why you should be careful of what links you're clicking on.
I'm sure Mihir's demonstration made you realize just how dangerous a phishing link is. It can give somebody full control to your accounts. So how can you avoid being phished, you may be asking? Well, here are some things that will help you prevent your account from getting hijacked. The first one being, don't click on links that look suspicious. I know that this is an overused tip, but it's really helpful. Most new hackers make the mistake of sending links that look suspicious. An example for this can be ngrok links. Try avoiding links such as those. You should also look for misspelled links. For example, a LinkedIn with a capital I instead of a small L. As for clicking on bit.ly links, we know that a lot of people who don't have malicious intent still use bit.ly to shorten their links, such as me. But if you come across a bit.ly link, before visiting the website via the link, just paste it in the URL and put a plus and then hit enter. This will show you which website the link is actually leading to. Once you've verified that the website is trustable, you can go ahead and use the link to go to the website that you desire to head to. The last tip is to avoid emails that look suspicious. For example, you can see over here that this looks more like a mail from LinkedIn than this does. Please note that clicking on these links is just as dangerous as signing in on them. If you click on such a link, your IP address will be leaked immediately. However, we know there are lots of situations where you need to use a suspicious website or a link. In these cases, still try not to log in onto these websites, log into your accounts using these websites. However, you would be more protected if you are using a VPN, a proxy, or Tor, which we do recommend doing in the case you need to visit a website such as this. So what happens if your IP is leaked? Well, if your IP is leaked, it might result in a DDoS attack on your computer, which can completely destroy it. That's all for this video. Stay informed, stay safe.